Hello children, how are you? I hope you all are doing well and loving these different chapters that we are learning in English literature. Aren't they interesting? Aren't you getting to learn a lot about different places, about different things, about different people? That's right children, they're so interesting. They give us a lesson also. At the same time, they help us to think. सोचने में हेल्प करते, पॉन्डर ओवर करने में हेल्प करते कि कैसे अलग अलग लोग हैं, कैसे अलग अलग चीज़ें हैं नेचर में, एनवायरनमेंट में. So children, now we are going to talk about a very noble human being. Okay, he was our president. Okay, of India. He was the president of India, but he was a very kind person, very gentle person, and he was especially with children. He was very. So let's begin by reading the prologue. Abul Pakir Jalaluddin Abdul Kalam, born 1931, was an Indian scientist and administrator who served as the 11th President of India from 2002 to 2007. Before his term as President, he worked as an aerospace engineer with Defence Research and Development Organization (DRDO), an Indian Space Research Organization (ISRO). Kalam is popularly known as the Missile Man of India for his work on the development of ballistic missile and launch vehicle technology. So, before Abdul Kalam became the President of India, okay, उसके पहले वो he used to work as an aerospace engineer, okay, with the DRDO, which is the Defense Research and Development Organization, okay, and also with ISRO, which is the Indian Space Research Organization. Okay, so let's read about this interesting person. Okay, a very kind, a noble, and gentle person, APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, let's do a warm up. Collect more information about Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and share it with your class. So let's read. Womanhood is a beautiful creation of God. Okay, so he says that womanhood जो होता है, okay, it's the most beautiful creation of God. I'm always inspired and rejuvenated by two great women. One is my mother and the other is Bharat Ratna Miss Subalakshmi. I would like to share my thoughts with you about these two great souls. So, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is going to talk about his mother and about Bharat Ratna Miss Subalakshmi in this chapter. Okay, my mother. So this is like a part of his autobiography where he is writing about his mother. Okay, and the second woman, Miss Subalakshmi, in his own words. So let's read. My mother. During World War II in 1941 in Rameshwaram, it was a difficult time for our family. I was a 10-year-old boy. War had almost reached our doorsteps, that is Sri Lanka. Almost everything was a rarity. Food was scarce. So what he's saying is कि 1941 में जब World War II काफ़ी peak पे था, he was in Rameshwaram and his family was having a very tough time. He was only 10 years old and a war had almost reached Sri Lanka तक war पहुंच गई थी और वहाँ पे सब कुछ रेयर हो गया था, खाना पीना मिलना भी मुश्किल हो रहा था. Okay, ours was a large joint family. My father's family and his young brothers used to live under one roof. तो पुराने ज़माने में जैसे आप देखते थे ज़्यादा करके joint families होती थी. So his also was a joint family जहाँ पे उसके पापा की फैमिली और उसके भाइयों की फैमिली, पापा के भाइयों की फैमिली एक ही छत के नीचे रहते थे. Okay, our family, उनकी फैमिली में 5 sons were there and 5 daughters, and 3 of those who had families themselves. So his father's family was like 5 brothers and 5 sisters, और जिसमें से 3 जन की शादी भी हो गई थी. So I used to see 3 cradles in my house at any given point of time. My grandmother and my mother used to manage this large contingent. Laughter alternated with tears at home. So he is telling that कि इस घर में हमेशा बच्चे होते ही रहते थे, मतलब देयर इज टू ऑलवेज बी अ स्मॉल बेबी ओके बीइंग born in the family because there was such a big family, and then his mother and his grandmother used to take care of everything in the house. कभी खुशियाँ होती थी, कभी आंसू होते थे, गम होते थे, ओके कभी टेंशन होती थी. So I used to get up at 4 in the morning, take a bath and go to my teacher, Swamiyar, to learn mathematics. He wouldn't accept any student who hadn't had a bath. तो ये सुबह 4 बजे नहा के मैथ्स की पढ़ाई करने के लिए उनके टीचर के पास जाते थे, जिनका नाम था स्वामीयार. ओके और उनका एक पॉलिसी था कि जो भी बच्चा बिना नहाए आएगा उनको वो अंदर नहीं लेते थे. He was a unique mathematics teacher and used to take only 5 students a year, and for no charge either. So he used to take only 5 students in a year और कोई भी फीस नहीं ली. My mother used to get up before I did, give me a bath and get me ready for my tuition. I came back at 5:30 AM. So बच्चों ये सुबह सुबह जाता था ट्यूशन के लिए. Okay, my father would be waiting to take me to the namaz and then to the Arabic school to learn the Quran Sharif. Okay, I used to distribute newspaper to earn a living for our family. So ये जब छोटे थे तब वो सुबह सुबह 4:30 बजे वो मतलब 4-4:30 बजे ट्यूशन जाते थे, पढ़ाई करके 5:30 बजे वापस आ जाते थे. फिर उनके पापा के साथ वो चले जाते थे नमाज़ पढ़ने, और फिर वहाँ से ही वो अरबिक स्कूल भी जाते थे कुरान शरीफ के बारे में सीखने के लिए. फिर उसके बाद he used to distribute newspapers. Okay, so I would walk to the Rameshwaram road railway station 3 kilometers away. The Madras Dhanushkodi mail would pass through the station but would not stop since it was war time. The newspaper bundle would be thrown from the moving train. So क्योंकि war का time चल रहा था तो जो ट्रेन आती थी, okay, the train's name was Madras Dhanushkodi mail. तो ट्रेन से वो ट्रेन रुकती नहीं थी, वो न्यूज़पेपर का बंडल फेंकती थी ट्रेन के बाहर और फिर वो निकल जाती थी. Okay, I used to collect the newspaper and run around the town distributing them. I was the first one to do that. My elder cousin was an agent who later went away to Sri Lanka in search of a better livelihood. After distributing the newspaper, I came back home at 8 o'clock. My mother would give me a simple but special breakfast because I was studying and working simultaneously. After school in the evening, once again, I would go around Rameshwaram to collect the dues from the customers. So, मतलब ये newspaper डालता था और he was the only one, first one to be doing this work and study at the same time. जो उसके जो एल्डर कज़न थे वो एजेंट हो गए थे और फिर वो श्रीलंका में सेटल हो गए. उन्होंने वहाँ पे ही मूव टू श्रीलंका फॉर अ बेटर लाइवलीहुड. और उसके बाद ये जब न्यूज़पेपर ड्रॉप करके 8 बजे तक घर आते थे, उनकी मम्मी उनके लिए अच्छा सा उनको ब्रेकफास्ट देती थी. ओके, आफ्टर स्कूल इन द इवनिंग, स्कूल के बाद भी शाम को ये रामेश्वरम में जाके उनके कस्टमर से जो बाकी पैसे रहते थे वो कलेक्ट करते थे. I still remember a little incident. Those days I was constantly walking, running around and studying simultaneously. One day when all my brothers and sisters were sitting and eating, my mother went on giving me chapatis. We were rice eaters, but only wheat was available during wartime. When I had finished eating, my elder brother called me and scolded me in private. Kalam, do you know what happened? He said. You went on eating the chapatis and mother kept giving them to you. She gave all her chapatis to you. It is a difficult time. Be a responsible son and do not make your mother starve. For the first time that day, I had a shivering sensation and could not control myself. I rushed to my mother and hugged her. So, उस दिन जब वो खाना खाने बैठे थे भाई बहन, तो मम्मी जो थी वो कंटिन्यूसली उसको रोटियां दिए जा रही थी और ये खाई जा रहा था. ओके, और बेसिकली जो साउथ के लोग होते हैं वो होते राइस ईटर्स, ज़्यादा करके वो राइस खाते, बट सिंस वॉर टाइम चल रही थी तो उनको सिर्फ आटा मिल रहा था, तो इसकी वजह से वो रोटियां बन रही थी उनके घर में. बट उसके जब बड़े भाई को रियलाइज़ होता है कि मम्मियाँ इसको रोटी दे रही है, मम्मी इसको रोटी दे रही है और ये खाए जा रहा है, तो उसने जाके इसको डांटा. उसको बोला कि तुम्हें पता है कि वॉर चल रही है और तुम इस टाइम पे जो तुम खाए जा रहे हो, तुम्हें नहीं पता कि मम्मी ने अपने हिस्से का भी तुम्हें दे दिया, ओके, एंड आई डोंट वांट माय मदर टू स्टार्व। तो उस दिन जो कलाम थे उनको बहुत बुरा लगा और वो तुरंत जाके उन्होंने अपनी मम्मी को हक कर लिया, ओके। Even though I was studying in class 5, I had a special place at home because I was the youngest in the family. Okay, there used to be no electricity. The home was lit by the kerosene lamp, that too only from 7 to 9 p.m. My mother especially gave me a small kerosene lamp so that I could study until 11 p.m. I still remember my mother one full moon night, a scene I have portrayed in my book Wings of Fire. So, जे 5th क्लास में थे बट वो काफ़ी स्पेशल थे, ओके, उनके घर में उनके लिए एक स्पेशल जगह थी, ओके, मे बी बिकॉज ही वॉज यंगेस्ट इन द फैमिली, ही यूज टू स्टडी ऑल्सो अ लॉट and he used to work also for them, so they always had a special place for him in their hearts also. So जब वो उनके घर में उस टाइम पे लाइट्स नहीं आती थी, सो 7 बजे से 9 बजे तक वो जो दिया होता है ना जिसमें केरोसिन डाल के लैंप लगा के वो लोग घर में रोशनी आ जाती थी, बट इसके लिए उनकी मम्मी ने एक छोटा सा लैंप रखा था जो 11 बजे तक वो इस्तेमाल कर सकते थे और उसके साथ बैठ के वो 11 बजे तक पढ़ाई करते थे, ओके। और फिर वो हमें किस्सा बता रहे हैं अबाउट हिज मदर, ओके, व्हाट हैपेंड ऑन वन फुल मून नाइट, ओके। दिस इज द स्टोरी ऑफ माय मदर who lived for 93 years, a woman of love and kindness and above all of divine nature. My mother performed namaz 5 times every day. During namaz, my mother always looked angelic. Every time I saw her at namaz, I was inspired and moved. So he's telling that his mother lived for 93 years. She was a very kind and divine soul. Okay, और डेली वो 5 बार नमाज पढ़ती थी, okay, और जब भी वो नमाज पढ़ती थी he used to find like you know his mother like an angel, okay, angelic लगती थी उनको वो, और he used to always be inspired, okay, and moved whenever he looked at her when she used to pray, okay. So children, let's see how much you followed this chapter so far by tracking your performance through my performance tracker. Quickly answer the questions. Okay, now that we know that how Kalam used to be inspired by his mother, the way she used to do small things for him, like taking good care of him, providing him with whatever he needed, okay, he used to be so inspired by her. Now let's look at the second person through whom he was very inspired, okay, who was like an inspiration for him in his life. That is Bharat Ratna, Miss Subalakshmi. So dear children, he says to us that I would now like to talk about another great mother, the mother of Carnatic music, Miss Subalakshmi. In 1950, when I was at college in Trichy, I heard her for the first time during the Tyagaraja festival at Thiruvayur, held in January every year. So, बच्चों, Carnatic music is one of the traditional musics or the folk music of South. Okay, so Miss Subalakshmi जो है, she was the mother of Carnatic music. Okay, and जो डॉक्टर कलाम है उन्होंने उनको पहली बार 1950 में देखा था उनके कॉलेज में जब वो परफॉर्म करने आई थी. Okay, I attended this festival with my close friend and music lover Santhanam. After the Pancharatna Kriti, Miss Subalakshmi sang the famous Tyagaraj Kirtan. This song really seeped into my body and soul and gave me eternal bliss. It was so powerful, I was moved and I became a lifetime fan of Miss Subalakshmi. I liked what she said at the Music Academy about music. So, he was so inspired with her, okay. He had attended that festival with his friend, okay, very close friend who was also a music lover. His name was Santhanam, okay. और जब मिस सुबलक्ष्मी ने पंचरत्ना कृति परफॉर्म की और उसके बाद अपना फेमस गाना गाया था त्यागराज कीर्तन, okay, it really actually touched his soul. It touched the soul of Dr. Kalam and he felt eternal bliss. मतलब इस दुनिया में और कोई खुशी इससे बढ़कर हो ही नहीं सकती. That was the feeling that he had. Okay, एंड इट वॉज सो पावरफुल, दैट म्यूजिक वॉज सो पावरफुल दैट वो उनके फ़ैन हो गए. हमें भी कोई एक्टिंग, किसी एक्टर की एक्टिंग अच्छी लगती है या कोई म्यूजिक अच्छा लगता है किसी सिंगर की, तो डोंट वी गेट इंस्पायर्ड, डोंट यू थिंक दैट वाओ this is the moment and you're really taken, you know, that you're so happy and so moved by that person's way of singing or the person's way of acting and all, that you really become a true fan of that person. Doesn't it happen with you? It does happen with everyone. Okay, he says that I liked what she said at the music academy about music. अभी उसने म्यूजिक के बारे में एकेडमी में कुछ बातें कही थी which really were like, you know, he was so happy listening to them. Bhakti is nothing but the devotion we show to the divinity that resides within us. Once we regard the divinity within us with devotional fervor, we are bound to develop the same affection towards everything outside. The reason is that the same divine truth runs through all things. When the devotee has attained this state, service to the world becomes his creed. So बच्चों, what she is saying is that कि जो divinity होती है, जो भक्ति होती है, भगवान की तरफ जो हमारी भक्ति होती है, वो हमारे अंदर से आती है. Okay, that feeling is within us. तो जब हम इस divinity को, इसको respect करने लगते हैं, okay, for things that come from within us, or the things that are within us, when we start loving them, when we start paying respect to them, okay, then we are bound to show affection and love towards everything that is outside of us. Okay, and the reason is that the same divine truth runs through all things. So सिर्फ मुझ में या आप में नहीं है, सबके अंदर वो divinity है. Okay, that divine truth is within everyone. So when you start, looking at those things and start loving those things that are within you, you will automatically start loving things that are around you also. Okay, so when the devotee has attained this state, service to the world becomes his creed. It's like creed मतलब उसका वो फर्ज बन जाता है. Okay, that is like his religion, that I have to take care of things all around me. All right, so I used to meet her at music concerts. It was a great joy for me when Miss Subalakshmi was honored with Bharat Ratna at the Ashok Hall in Rashtrapati Bhavan in 1998. I was sitting by her side. She touched my head and blessed me. That was the greatest moment in my life. She said something I would like to mention. Any raga has the purpose of directing the minds of the listeners towards God and His manifestations. I met this great soul many times later when she was not well. When she passed away on 12th December 2004, I was there at her house where I felt spiritual peace. This passage, okay, is an extract from a speech of by Dr. APJ Kalam. So बच्चों, he had the opportunity जब Miss Subalakshmi को award मिला, okay, she was honored, okay, with the Bharat Ratna award. He was sitting with her, okay, and she touched his head and she blessed him, and she said that and for him it was the greatest moment of his life. Okay, and she said that कि कोई भी राग जो होता है ना, राग जो गाने के राग होते हैं, कि they have the purpose, वो अपने माइंड को डायरेक्ट करते, एक सही दिशा दिखा देते हैं. Okay, and they show us the true fact of God, भगवान के बारे में बताते हैं, उसके मैनिफेस्टेशन, मतलब उसकी जो रियलिटी है, गॉड की जो रियलिटी है, उसके रिफ्लेक्शन से जो अपीयरेंसेस है, उसके बारे में हमें बताते हैं. Okay, and then he was really so impressed by her, so inspired by her, that he used to talk to her many a times. So जो भी चीज़ें वो उनसे सीखते थे, he used to put them in practice. Okay, and he used to follow her, and that's why he respected her and loved her a lot. So बच्चों, आपके जीवन में भी ऐसे इंस्पिरेशंस होते होंगे कि आपको भी किसी से आप इंस्पायर होते होंगे. जैसे आप बच्चे हो, मे बी अ टीचर ऑफ योर्स, शी इज़ सो नाइस एंड सो काइंड टुवर्ड्स यू एंड टुवर्ड्स अदर ऑल्सो, दैट यू ऑलवेज लर्न समथिंग और द अदर फ्रॉम हर. है ना ऐसा कोई? सोचो, या मे बी आपकी मम्मी हो या आंटी हो, कोई भी हो सकता है, या फिर पापा हो, कोई भी हो सकता है जो आपको इंस्पायर करते हो. So this is such a beautiful thing of acknowledging the person, okay, who have made a lot of difference in your life. So children, do read this passage again, okay, solve the back exercises, don't forget to read the important and the difficult words, and also learn the meanings of them.